Happy afternoon. I'm Paige, this is the Happy Kitchen, and today we're making vegan, gluten-free veggie chowder. We're gonna pretend like it's fall and it's not 112 outside still for the 35th day in a row here in Phoenix because my sister's coming to town and she loves soups like this, so I'm excited to make it for us so we can have a big batch over the next few days while they're here. But first, coffee. Let's get started. The first thing you're gonna do is get out a big soup pot and we're gonna chop up an onion. All right, we're gonna take about 2 tablespoons of vegan butter, get that heating up in our pot. Set it to about medium heat. So my onion today is a sweet onion and it's a pretty good size, so we're gonna use just over half, I'm gonna say. All right, my butter is getting a little warm. So I'm gonna turn down the heat. It's bubbling. We're gonna throw this in. This half of the onion looks like plenty. All right, my onions have a nice little layer on the bottom and I'm gonna let those cook until they're translucent. While we're waiting for our onions to get translucent, we're going to start chopping our other ingredients. So first thing, a couple of potatoes. My gold potatoes are a little bit on the small side today, so I've got 6 in front of me for starters. We'll go from there. I'm actually gonna cut these in half one more time because I want them to be nice and bite-sized when you're eating them in the soup. Now that the onions are getting translucent, we're gonna throw some garlic in there. You always want to add your seasonings first and not later. We're also gonna throw in some salt and pepper. With salt though, you can go a little bit lighter just to make sure, and then at the end, once you have your full soup, you can always add a little bit more salt if needed, but it's harder to take away salt. So you wanna go a little bit lighter and then you can always add more salt. While we let that simmer a little bit longer with the seasonings, we're gonna start our base, so our vegetable broth. I am the biggest fan of the Better Than Bouillon base. I'm taking about 2 tablespoons of it, and I'm going to pour hot water over this, and then I'm going to continue to add hot water to it until it's all dissolved. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit so it doesn't burn, but I want to get some of that caramelization flavor in the soup. I love this stuff so much that I add hot water in here when it's almost gone, and then make sure it all dissolves so I don't waste any of it. All right, so now we're going to add, it's ready. We're gonna add some gluten-free flour. I have white rice flour in my pantry today that I'm gonna use to create our roux as the base and the thickener for our chowder. Add like 4 tablespoons or so. Stir that all together. And then you want to give this a minute as well to kind of brown and meld all together before you add any of your liquid. You can see here what the base made. It's a really thick broth. And I'm going to pour this in. And then the little bits that didn't get dissolved, I'm going to add more hot water to this. This is still on a little bit higher than medium heat. Second cup is a little bit lighter. I'm going to do another tablespoon of the base out of my new jar. Add more hot water. Next, we're going to add in our chopped potatoes and carrots. I'm going to taste for salt real quick. I'm going to add just a touch more. Alright, we've been simmering away. Let's test out our veggies. Nice. They're getting pretty soft, so I want to move on to the next step before they get too soft because we still have to cook some stuff. The next thing we're going to add in is some frozen corn. You can absolutely regular corn on the cob and cut everything off, and you'll probably get a little bit of a creamier chowder because more of the liquid from inside the little corn kernels is going to be present. Now I've got about a cup of corn in here, but any of these amounts You can adjust based on your preference. So if you want more potatoes, you can add more potatoes. If you want more carrots, add more carrots. Any of the above. If there's any veggie that you want to add to this, have at it. Paige from the future here. It's funny I say this because I normally add kale to this soup and I totally forgot when I was filming. So kale adds a nice green color to the soup, makes it much prettier, and extra veggie in here. I freeze my kale because I don't ever use it up and I don't want it to go bad, so I just pull it straight out of the freezer and throw it in when I throw it in with the corn, and it cooks up just fine. The final thing we're going to add is cashew milk, unsweetened cashew milk. This is going to give it that chowder feel and add a nice rich creaminess to the soup. We're going to add in about a cup and a half. I only have a little bit of this guy left and I'm going to use it up before it goes bad. All right, we're going to leave it on medium heat. It was just above medium before. We turned it down just a little bit. We're gonna leave it on medium, and then we're gonna bring this back up to a boil and reduce it down just a little bit by letting it boil for a moment. And there you have it, my vegan gluten-free veggie chowder that honestly tastes like a pot pie in soup form. It's super delicious, it's super easy. You can take away vegetables or add vegetables. You can kind of make it your own. It is very easy to make. It's not super quick because you gotta kind of leave it to simmer for a moment, but once you get it simmering and going, you can leave it and go do something else and then come back to it. I hope that you make this. If you do make it, leave a comment below, tag me on Instagram with a photo. I'd love to see it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see more gluten-free deliciousness just like this. I'll see you next time.